Hey there, it's Dr. Jim. I hope you're having a great day because today I have one of my favorite topics that I'd like to share with you, and it's actually in two parts. The importance of internal customer service in senior care. This is part one of a two-part series. One of the most forgotten forms of customer service begins right under your roof among your team members. I have always believed that the way employees treat each other is a direct reflection of how they will treat residents, family members, and vendors in your building. As I travel throughout skilled nursing and assisted living communities, I always keep an open eye to the behaviors and the actions between employees. If they're bickering and openly not getting along right in front of me, a stranger or a consultant or someone they see every now and then, I often wonder what kind of treatment are they providing to residents? What kind of service are they delivering? What does it take to develop and sustain good internal customer service? We have to start with values. Leaders in senior care, you need to take a hard look at your core values and honestly evaluate whether or not they are the cornerstones of your internal customer service. A few short years ago, I had the opportunity to rebrand a hospice company, and I rewrote its core values and its standards of practice, and I made those the cornerstones, the very foundation of our internal customer service between employees, managers, leaders, direct care staff, and others. I started with something that I value very highly, compassion. Perhaps the greatest value to uphold within a care community is compassion, which will naturally influence your other core values. When employees have compassion for one another, they will naturally exhibit more compassionate behaviors for the people that they take care of and for the family members wandering around your hallways. Compassion means being empathetic to the needs and the circumstances of other people. It involves striving to understand one another. It means being compassionate, and it involves the skill of actively listening to one another among your team. Another core value, competence. You could have all the heart in the world, but if you don't know what you're doing, you might be dangerous. Great internal customer service cannot be maintained without skilled and talented employees. Competence requires embracing and encouraging continual improvement through education and training. Employees who push or nudge each other to be better every day probably deliver better internal customer service. Another core value, commitment. Employees must make a commitment to deliver only the finest, the highest quality customer service to one another and to their residents. They must be deeply dedicated to service that is driven by high ethical standards. Employees must treat each other the way they should before they can treat residents or family members. Trust and commitment are inseparable. My last core value, community. Employees form the culture of any physical space they occupy. They create and sustain a community in which they work and their residents call home. It's their house. A community cannot thrive without internal customer service driven by genuine relationships, by clear communication, common goals, and purpose. My final thoughts: many senior care communities boast about their great customer service out in the community, their marketing programs. And while it's probably true that they have good customer service, I often wonder about the reality of the things that go on among their staff when no one is looking. On second shift and third shift, customer service to residents starts with good customer service to each other. And these are driven, this customer service that we're talking about is driven by core values like compassion, competence, commitment, and community. I'm done. Well, for part one. Stick around for part two. Coming soon.